Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer. I'm freezing. I got my hoodie on, I'm cold. What's up today? What are you guys doing? I don't remember if I said my entire intro, but hello, my name's Jennifer. I'm your yarn host. I am featuring a book today that I purchased. This is a book that I'm blaming this on the Facebook group. My Facebook group, Cinnamon Stitches Facebook group. It is always linked in the description box below. In order to join said Facebook group, you have to answer all the questions correctly, or I automatically decline you, as does my moderators. So because of that, you got to answer the questions. You got to. And the reason I do that is because I don't want people in there thinking they're going to come in there and, oh, if I show my name, this is called self-promotion. If I show my name in a bunch of posts, Cinnamon Stitches is going to say my name and I'm going to get super famous. I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people like, oh, if she just says my name, I will be in. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. And also, I don't promote people that I don't actually watch and interact with, because I have seen that burn people before where they're like, yeah, check out this new channel. And then that channel turns out to be a real jerk. Like, I've seen that happen too many times. I don't do that. I try to keep my world nice and safe. Also, I also don't want people in there posting links to stuff that are like, could steal your password, because there's a lot of links that will show up and it will look like it's an actual link to Facebook, and then it will link you to a fake Facebook page where you have to re-log in, and then they steal your password, and then they steal your account, and then it's over from there. Now, so I'm very careful with who I let into the Facebook group. You also, if you have a brand new account, you don't have pictures, you don't have any friends, a lot of times I will decline you just because of that. And I know that sucks for some of you who don't like Facebook and only use Facebook for the Facebook group, but that's one way that I know to keep the Facebook group safe. Well, anyway, let's circle back to why I'm actually here. So someone posted this in the Facebook group and they're like, Cinnamon Stitches, this is right up your alley. Well, they call me Jen, Jennifer, whatever over there, okay? Anyway, now, if you are new here and you haven't heard me talk about the national parks, in fact, I might have packed it. I also have the book Knitting the National Parks, which is beautiful designs with color work. I have not yet made anything out of the Knitting the National Parks book. I don't know why. I think that would be a good project for me for Christmas, is to make some beautiful national parks knit things for Christmas instead of working on traditional Christmas. I don't know, because I got Christmas stuff lined up. I got a Woobles kit over there for Christmas. We're gonna do Christmas, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. So anyway, this is Crocheting the National Parks. I'm gonna go through and show you what all the patterns are, and the reason I'm gonna show you all of the patterns is because when I went on the internet, it didn't have an example of the patterns, and I was like, do I really want to buy that book? Now, the book was, I bought this book used. It said used in good condition. I bought it from Amazon. I will link it on Amazon. But it is shipped from Half Price Books. So, I mean, maybe check them out. But because I got it from Amazon, I got free shipping. This doesn't tell me how much I almost knocked my cup over. Doesn't tell me how much I paid for it. I want to say $22. I think I paid $22 for this book. The ISBN suggested price is $24.99 US, $18.99 UK, and $32.99 Canada. And it says visit Quarto.com, QUARTO.com. I'm going to log into my Amazon account and verify how much I paid for this book. How much did I pay for it? Alright, it says $19.90 for paperback, which is what that is. $11.99 for the Kindle. I don't know what I paid for it. I'm not real good at working at Amazon. invoice. There we go. View invoice. I paid $12.49 for the book, $4.99 for shipping. I paid $18.40 for this book on Amazon, but there's not any more used copies available on Amazon. Anyway, Crocheting the National Parks. It says the author is Krista Ann, which I like seeing that because that means it's not AI patterns. It says 20 patterns for accessories, home decor, plushies, and more inspired by national wonders. Also, I don't know if you know this, there are free crochet amigurumi patterns on the National Parks website. If you go, I will try to link them because I have them saved on my phone. If you go to Google and you type crochet free National Parks amigurumi, it should show up the different patterns. I think there's a beaver and I don't remember what all there is. I will try to link the individual patterns, but they're free. They're on the National Parks website, like through the government National Parks websites. Okay, so here is the book. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you every single pattern so you can decide whether this is something that you like. And it says this book is dedicated to the person that I love exploring this big beautiful world with, Garner, my husband, best friend, hiking buddy, and fellow adventure seeker. Thanks for always carrying the water bottle. That makes me a little emotional. Why? Because I have visited the national parks with my husband, and he is the one who has made me fall in love with the national parks. The national parks that I have visited off the top of my head is Shenandoah National Park, which is here in Virginia. I've been to Smoky Mountain National Park, which is in Tennessee. I have been to Painted Desert and Petrified Forest, which is, they're kind of connected, but they're two separate parts. I've been to Sequoia and Kings National Parks. I have been to Yosemite. I have been to Devil's Tower in Wyoming. I have been to Mount Rushmore. I feel like I'm missing one. Grand Canyon. Those are the ones off the top of my head that I can remember. Amazing, amazing experiences. So with that, let's get into it. There's an introduction. It says national parks in the United States are some of the most incredible places to visit. You know what I would like to see is that she donated part of the proceeds back to the national parks. And I don't, unless we read that, I don't know if she's actually doing that, but that would be cool, right? Currently, there are 63 national parks spanning 30 states and 2 U.S. territories. These cover approximately 52.4 million acres, 21.2 million hectares of land. That's a lot of area to explore. It is. And if you go to the national parks, there's a main road you drive down and you can see all the things that are closest to the roads. And the roads tend to take you by the main attractions, if you will. And you can get out and you can explore, but there's so many miles and miles and miles and miles of unexplored, untouched, protected, preserved land to explore in the national parks that you can hike through. Having so much land protected by the government is a vital part of maintaining a healthy ecosystem and protecting the thousands of plants, animals, and birds that call these locations homes. For millions of explorers like me who love to hike, bird watch, enjoy a quiet picnic, stargaze, or just soak up the nation's geological history, national parks are an absolute favorite. I am someone who finds so much joy out of watching a bear feed her cubs, a bird build her nest, prairie dogs bark at each other, or just listening to the wind in the trees. I've seen the prairie dogs bark at each other just outside of Devil's Tower in Wyoming. It was an unforgettable experience. Where was I at? It is beyond exciting to visit a national park that I've never been to before or revisit some of my favorites. As a full-time RVer, that's interesting. I have dreamed of being a full-time RVer. I often build a travel route to spend time in as many national parks as possible. I also look at what state parks or national monuments are nearby. My husband and I start at the visitor center in each park. Good idea. We talk to the park rangers about what hikes to go on. We prefer shaded hikes with high probability of seeing wildlife, what plants and animals we can hope to see, and we learn the history of the land beneath our feet. When I was asked to write this book, It was as if I had already been spending years researching. That's cool. What makes each special park unique? Or what makes each park special and unique? I don't think I can admit to having a favorite park. I can, and I will tell you in a moment. I need to keep researching until I have explored them all. I often bring a knit or crochet project in my hiking backpack so that I can take a break and enjoy some stitching somewhere stunning. I absolutely love finding a park bench or a shady log to take a break and stitch. It is in these moments of quiet when nature truly comes alive. As the signs around the national park say, take only pictures, leave only footprints, and don't forget your yarn. Okay, maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit. This is Monument Valley, I believe. I have not been to Monument Valley. All right, and then, oh, there's a map of the national parks in here. Got to break my bind a little bit because whoever had this never opened it. And it talks about the national parks everywhere. All right, so if I can run down the list, I will tell you. I have been to... I have seen Channel Islands National Park from across the water, but I have not actually been over to Channel Islands. Channel Islands is in the ocean in the area my husband grew up in. So I have seen it many times, but I've never been over there. And I have driven through Cuyahoga Valley, but I have not been to the national park. Let's see. I've also seen the Gateway Arch from the freeway, but I have never stopped there. That's in Missouri. Grand Canyon I've been to. Great Smoky Mountains National Park I've been to. And I know I'm going to get corrected. It is also in North Carolina. And I did go to the North Carolina and all through Tennessee to see it. I have not been to any of the national parks in Michigan. So there is Isle Royale, and I've always wanted to go and I haven't been. Kings Canyon National Park, I've been there. If any of you have been, Petrified National Forest, been there, that's in Arizona. I want you to list what parks you've been to and what you found fascinating about it, or what you loved about it, or what you hated about it even. Saguaro, that's where I've been to. Saguaro National Park in Arizona. I've been there. That's where the big giant cactuses are. Sequoia, I've been to Sequoia National Park in California. So that's 11 I've been to, because I forgot about Saguaro. Shenandoah, been there. Yellowstone, been there. All right, now, there's tips for traveling with crochet and a beautiful photo. This is book review with Jennifer. East Coast Escapes. All right, this is from Acadia Sunrise Shoulder Bag. Now, Acadia National Park is in Maine, and it is the first place that the sun touches in the United States every single day. That's Acadia National Park. That's the sunshine bag. Sunrise shoulder bag. That's actually really pretty. It's given Starry Night, the painting Starry Night vibes. Totally. That's really pretty. All right. Then we have is it Congaree? Is that how you say that national park? Cypress trees in Congaree, which is in South Carolina. That's the leggings, the leg warmers. That's the national park photo. Oh, and then we have Dry Tortugas Sea Turtle Plant Holder. Dry Tortugas National Park is home to 5 species of turtles, including the green sea turtles. Or the green turtle seen here. That's kind of cute. That is definitely unique. Definitely unique. All right, and then we have close-up pictures of that. And then there's a painting of, I think these are pink ibis, or those actually might be spoonbills. The Everglades alligator plushie. I want to make this. Everglades alligator plushie. There's the photo to go with it. Everglades is in Florida. I have not been there either. Great Smoky Mountains Great Smoky Mountains Firefly Dish Towel. That is really cute. I mean, it's a simple design. You can make it probably in an hour or two. And that's the picture. It says fireflies light up this national park by the thousands. There are at least 19 different species of fireflies that can be found in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. These small beetles flash their bioluminescent bellies as part of their mating ritual. During the last week of June, there's an annual event where park visitors can view the enlightening synchronous firefly show. So some firefly lightning bugs will sync up with noise, so they will flash with noise or with rhythm, so they will simultaneously, all of them will. It's quite a sight to see, I hear. I have not seen that. Matter of fact, for years after we moved to Virginia, because fireflies are a real big thing in Michigan, like I always saw lightning bugs at night. And when I moved to Virginia, we didn't see them for a good 10 years, and then every once in a while we'll see one. Right, this is Indiana Dunes sun hat. Looked very easy. That's what I like about this book, is the knitting the national parks is very complex, beautiful, color work knitting, which I'm not mad at, but it's intimidating. These look very simple. This is Shenandoah, which is here local to me. Shenandoah Gone Hiking Pillow. This is really, really cute. And one of my favorite things to do is go visit Shenandoah in the fall when the leaves are changing, like right now, and go look at the mountains with the beautiful colors. All right, this says West Coast Wilderness, the Badlands Prairie Dog plushie. He kind of looks like a beaver, but we'll call him a prairie dog. He's cute. Look at, I have pictures of the prairie dogs, like I said, from Wyoming. So the Badlands are in, I think, the Dakotas. It doesn't say. I'm fairly confident the Badlands are in South Dakota, I believe, which is where Mount Rushmore is. If I'm correct. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've been there. Bryce Canyons. I've never been to Bryce Canyons. Always wanted to go. These are their socks. And yes, they're crochet socks. I'm working on crochet socks right now, as a matter of fact, with Olga Peltova's pattern. That is the Bryce Canyons. Quite stunning rock formations. Oh, okay, I need to make this one. Grand Canyon wall hanging. I definitely need to make this one. Now, I have a story about the Grand Canyon because I've been to the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is quite a sight to see, but if you know anything about me, I'm terrified of heights. Like, I don't even like to stand on a chair. I am that afraid I'm going to fall. So the Grand Canyon was so deep and wide, and there are a lot of parts of the Grand Canyon where there are no barriers. So you literally could walk off the edge and die. Like, it's... And little man was, he was probably 3 when we went. And so I had nightmares for 5 days after we visited the Grand Canyon because it was so scary. What? Hang on one second. Sorry, they're feeding the dogs in Bentley's bowls in here. So the Grand Canyon for me was something I will never forget for a couple of reasons. One, it was terrifying and I had nightmares. 2, it is a place you will never forget visiting. I've gone twice now. The first visit, one of my dreams, because I am heavy into photography, not so much as I used to be. I used to be a photographer. I actually had a business in Michigan. I did pretty well. Photography was everything to me, and my dream was to see the Grand Canyon at sunrise and sunset, and we did that. So my husband rented us a room right off the rim. We woke up way before the sun rose. It was like, I want to say 3 or 4 a.m. We got up, we walked to the rim, to the edge of the cliff. I set up my camera and we left the kids in the room because they were sleeping and it was dark and scary, and Lucas loved to run, and yeah, I was scared. Stay in the room. And we were just right outside at the rim, you know. And I set up the camera and I took pictures as the sun rose over the canyon. And to say that that was something I will never forget is an understatement. It was the most spectacular sight I have ever witnessed. There is something, Bentley's gonna be chewing really loud. I don't know why they brought him in here to eat. It was something I will never forget. It was breathtaking. And the night before, we actually saw the sunset in the canyon, and we ate at a restaurant at the Grand Canyon, and the food was disgusting. It was really, really bad Mexican. I use that term very lightly. Grand Teton paw print picnic roll. No, it's paw prints. So what is a picnic roll? That's what I would like to know. So it says, there are hundreds of grizzly bears who call Grand Teton National Park home, including the world famous bear, the grizzly. Oh, Grizzly 399 is her name, who mothered at least 22 cubs. A possible sighting of these incredible massive creatures is one big reason why people visit this park. Stitch up your own picnic roll, pack a lunch, and head out. So I'm guessing that a picnic roll is... What is a picnic roll? It doesn't say. I feel like the way they have it rolled up is it holds your silverware. Am I safe to assume that? No, it's a placemat, maybe. Of course, you could store silverware in there, right? It looks like they have you cross stitch the paw prints, which I'm not doing. Yeah, they want you to cross stitch the paw prints. That's not gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, Great Basin Stargazing Pillow. Great Basin Stargazing Pillow. I have a photograph. It's a really crappy photograph. This is called a nebula. And there are dark parks, or dark, I forget what they're called. I want to call it dark park. There are spots in the United States and all over the world where it is specifically dark. There's a lack of ambient light coming from cities and like traffic and all that stuff. And we were driving, because we don't fly. My husband doesn't fly. We were driving cross country. We were somewhere on, I want to say I-40, which is a main highway that goes coast to coast. And we got out and you could see that in the sky. It was not that bright. This effect is created with overlaying lots of different images at different exposures, which is a lot of work. So I have a very faint picture of a nebula somewhere on one of my hard drives, but you could absolutely see that from the sky directly above us. And you can see that most often at dark parks. So Great Basin, I'm assuming, is a great place to see it. There is a place in Shenandoah, which is closest to me, that they do dark parties where you can come and look at the stars. It's at, I can't remember what it's called. It's the Big Meadow, I think. All right, and then we have Katmai, which I think is in Alaska. Katmai Grizzly Bear Cup Cozy, which is hilarious to look at. I don't know that I would want that on my cup. But he's cute. He's cute. He's got fish in his mouth. All right. Olympic Grand Fur. So this is from Olympic National Park. Grand Fur fingerless mitts. These are beautiful. I would make those. I think it's Hannah from Cozy Cottage Crochet has a, I want to say a cowl. She has a pattern that is similar to this. That's beautiful. That would go really good with her cowl. I don't remember what the name of it is. And then we have, oh, see, I gotta make this one. I gotta find, I have the right yarn for this. It's probably in storage. Petrified Forest is not a forest at all. That is petrified wood. All right, this is the cowl. It is beautiful. And Canyon Colors from Premier Yarns has like the perfect colored yarn to go with that. I also think Spun Colors from Premier Yarns would be beautiful to make that cowl. Now, Petrified Forest is, from what I recall, it used to be a forest, and there was a geological event that happened that caused the wood to petrify and turn to stone. So you will get little tiny rocks of petrified wood that are beautiful colored rocks, okay? Or you'll get big giant logs like this that are rainbow colored slabs of what used to be wood are now turned into stone. And I believe it's from a volcano, if I recall. So it says the shimmering hues of color are produced by different minerals present in the water that seeps into the berry trees during the petrifying process. Okay, there you have it. It's water. Much like the earth cloaks a fallen tree, which causes the petrification process to happen, this cowl will wrap around your neck and protect you from the elements. Petrified Forest is one of my favorite places in the whole world. The landscape there is otherworldly. You will have rolling hills of deep red clay soil or deep red jasper, I think it's jasper rock. And it's just, the landscape is red, and even more so after it rains. Spectacular. And then if you keep driving a little bit further, there is an area called Blue Mesa. And I've shown pictures, maybe I'll pop up pictures in this video. There's a place called Blue Mesa, and the landscape is white and blue and purple. So the mountain, the ground, the clay, the minerally clay, the landscape, and even more so after it has just rained. I've seen it both dry and wet. It is like you've left Earth and you are on a different planet. It is that drastic of a difference, and it's all within the same park boundaries. So it's part of Painted Desert / Petrified Forest. They're all like combined together. Highly, highly recommend going there if you're anywhere in the area. So this is the Redwood Tree Rings coaster set. The Redwood Tree Rings. The Redwood National Forest I have not been to, but I have been to Sequoia National Forest, which is a little bit south than Redwood, I believe. The redwoods, I believe, are the tallest trees in the world, and the sequoias are the largest by volume trees in the world. And though I have not seen the redwoods, the sequoia trees, I cried. I hugged a tree and I cried. The trees are big enough you could fit a small car inside of the tree trunk. So that whole region is just magical to me. And then we have Rocky Mountain Mittens. These are based off the Rocky Mountain National Park, which are kind of cool. I don't have any stories about the Rocky Mountain National Park. Saguaro. I definitely want to make this. So Saguaro National Park is in Arizona, right? Is that what I said? New Mexico? Let me double check. It's crazy. I've been to these places, but I don't... It's in Arizona. I was right. All right. So there's two sections to Saguaro. There's Saguaro West and Saguaro East. And it's crazy because people's houses are actually like in the property, and there's like random cows. Now what I've seen in Saguaro is the beautiful giant Saguaro cactuses, which take, I think it's, I'm probably wrong on this information. I think it takes 10 years for it to grow a foot. So if you see a 10-foot tall saguaro cactus, it's been there 100 years. I think that's the information I remember. I have not been in years, so I don't really remember. I think last time we went, Lucas was probably 3 or 4. It was the last time we went. Yeah, it was when Grandpa passed away, I think. Or sometime around there. Anyway, the Saguaro National Park is really cool. And I've seen a lot of wildlife at Saguaro. There are a lot of rats there. But there's also big giant jackrabbits with the real tall ears. I've seen an owl hanging out in a saguaro, like in the tree. random cows from people's farms are like crossing the road. It's really it's a unique place. And then, oh, Yellowstone, the Grand Prismatic Crossbody Bag, because that is Grand Prismatic. Is it the pond? It's the Grand Prismatic Spring. And yes, that is actually the color. That's what it looks like in real life. The springs are different colors from the chemicals in it, and those springs are so hot it would melt your skin off. But they're so beautiful to see. Yellowstone is a place of its own. Like, it's another one of those otherworldly places. There's places where in Yellowstone, it's just beautiful scenery with mountains and a river and like grasslands and flowers and just beauty beyond compare, right? And then you turn the corner and it's dead and the trees are all like just sticking out of what looks like a salt mine. And it's dead looking and it's hot and it's steamy and there's geysers that spray up at random times. And geysers are weird because they come out of the earth hot, and if the air is cold, by the time the mist hits you, the mist is cold. So you could feel the heat and then the cold. It's really strange. The buffalo, I saw, like, I love buffalo. I love buffalo. American bison, I know I'm going to get corrected. I've always called them buffalo. I have a couple of stuffed animals that are packed away in storage that were gifted to me because I love buffalo. I have a buffalo stitch marker. I have buffalo yarn. It's a whole thing, okay? Matter of fact, right here is a little bit of bison buffalo yarn that I never took off my spindle. Yellowstone is, there's also big giant bears there. It's just, I haven't seen the bears. We've seen elk. We've seen the bison. It's just, if you can ever get to Yellowstone, the parks I'm going to recommend to you the most, Yellowstone, Sequoia National Park in California. So Yellowstone is in Wyoming, Montana. Sequoia is in California. The Grand Canyon in Arizona, and Petrified Forest / Painted Desert. And of course, I have a love for Shenandoah because I go there a lot. And I have a love for Smoky Mountain National Parks. But like, those are the top 4 that you have to go see them. You have to. Alright, so what I didn't see looking at this picture is that those are actually really pretty star. I think this is called the Jasmine Stitch, the Star Stitch. That's really pretty. Alright, and then we have Yosemite. I have not been to Yosemite. Yosemite waterfall scarf. That is really cool. Really cool. What yarn did she use for that? Because that's Universal Yarn in Bamboo Bloom. I knew I recognized that yarn. You can get that yarn on Premier Yarn's website. You can also get it on Universal Yarn's website because they're the same. They're the same mother company. And then the bottom is Rico Design Fashion Light Luxury, which I think just any big, really fat roving style yarn would work for that. That is a really unique scarf. And it definitely is giving waterfall vibes. And that is it. That was the final pattern. And the back of the book has tips for how to do some of the stitches. What a cool book. That was worth every penny I bought. Or I paid for it. Alright, it says about the contributors. So there are contributors to this book. It says Rachel Alford from Cozy Nooks Design. She's on Instagram. Yeah, so some of these patterns are different by different people. Alright, so we have Rachel Alford from Cozy Nooks Design. Then you have Brenda KB Anderson. She has a Ravelry. Megan Balmer from Megan Makes Do. Angel Doherty from Hooked by Angel. Can't actually see if that's showing up. And Heather Single from Storybook Crochet. But was there a picture of Krista in here? Did she leave herself out? Oh, there we are. About the author. That's Krista. And it says, she is a nomad who roams the United States with her husband, Garner, and their cat, Dr. Phineas, aka Finny, in their 26-foot RV travel trailer on the road since August 2019. That's impressive. They plan to visit as many states and national parks as possible before coming off the road and settling down in a place not yet known. That's actually really cool. Knitting since she was 23 and crocheting almost as long, Krista is in her happy place when she has her yarn, hook, or needles, Finny on her lap, and a gorgeous view to enjoy. She finds inspiration in each of the new places they visit, exploring yarn shops, attending fiber festivals, and meeting new fibery friends along her trail. Makes the nomadic life all the more interesting. When Krista isn't on a hike or trying out local pizza shops, she is always doing something creative. She designs knitting and crochet patterns for book projects or yarn companies, including Knitting Van Gogh. She sporadically receives calls to work with costume designers to create pieces for the film industry. She has knit or crocheted pieces for major projects, including The Mindy Project, Stranger Things, Hocus Pocus 2, Annabelle Comes Home, and many more. Her online knitting app, the Knitting Rockstar Academy, features tours and interviews with yarn shop owners and yarn companies from across the country. In addition, it features behind-the-scenes access into indie dye studios, full project video walkthroughs, and an abbreviation library. There is also endless knitting tips, tricks, and tutorials to up your knitting game. To learn more about Krista Ann, you can go to her website, explorewithknitsy.com. So if I forget to put anything that I mentioned in this video, remind me and I will let you know. So it says for resources, she thanks the yarn companies that provided yarn for her, the projects in this book. So Barocco, Big Twist Value, Cascade Yarns, Dream in Color, Hobby Lobby, Ice Yarns, Knitting Fever, Knitpicks, Lion Brand, Premier Yarns, Universal Yarns, Earth Yarns. I love Earth Yarns. Yarn Bee, Wool and the Gang, Barocco. Oh, and it has the websites. So, very cool. I really, really like this book. It was worth the money to me because we just had a fun trip down memory lane. We got to look at all of the patterns that are featured in here. And I really, really am glad I bought that. Now, what is the first project you would work on personally? Because I really want to make some stuff out of here. I think it'll be a good way to decompress. I really wish I hadn't packed away all of my yarn because I would start the cowl first for the Petrified Forest. But I think because there's some easy stuff in here. The Grand Canyon, I can do that because I have just plain colors here, I think. I think I have the perfect yarn for the waterfall. The waterfall cowl. Or scarf. The waterfall scarf. Wouldn't that be beautiful for the waterfall scarf? This is jewel spun. I got this from Michigan Fine Yarns. I think that would be perfect for the waterfall. This might even work for Painted Desert or the Petrified Forest one. Because I have... Look at it. What do you guys think? Let me see if I can find it. It's on this side of the book. Oh look, it looks like I'm wearing it. Right? Yeah. That is a whole vibe right there. And I have enough of this to probably make 2 of those, because this is a big ball with a lot of yardage. So this is Serdar Homespun. It's 200 grams. Each one of these is 546 yards. Right? Michigan Fine Yarns. Alright, so I can look at my pretty face again. I will link this in my Amazon. Like I said, it's 20 bucks on Amazon right now. The price could change because that's what Amazon does, constantly changing the price. I will link this. I will try to throw in some personal pictures into this video to make it an extra good video, so you can see what my personal photographs from the national parks. You can get an idea of what I'm actually talking about. Maybe I'll pop it up in the corner there while we're talking. And if I forget anything else that I mentioned that I would link below, go ahead and comment and I will give you guys the link for that. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for joining me while we did this book review. I do recommend the book. I don't know for certain how well the patterns are written yet, but I will of course give an update as I work through them, or if I get to them, when I get to them. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.